What's up, film fans, and welcome to Movie Roundup. Now, this is the weekly podcast where I go and talk about all the latest films that's come out to your local movie theater. Now, this week we've had two new films. We had the Emoji movie, and we had Atomic Blonde. And one of those films is absolute garbage, while the other one is pretty damn sweet. And I'm going to let you guess which one's which. Now, the Emoji movie. I knew that there was something up with this film because I'm not one who goes out and watches the trailers. So I always expected the trailers going to ruin the film for me. So I try to avoid them as much as possible. And luckily with this film, it was pretty damn easy to do. But I knew that something was up when the critics were not allowed to talk about this film up until the day it was released. And the day it was released, all these negative reviews started happening. Well, I didn't look at them up until the day I actually watched the film. And so I'm in an auditorium with two other families. And during the film is going on, I don't hear any of the kids laughing at all. One of the kids turns to their father and says, "Dad, this is boring." And I just thought to myself, damn right, kid, this is boring. And I'm so glad that you're smart enough to know that this film is trash. It tries its hardest to be exactly like Inside Out, where Inside Out you had this girl and inside of her mind was all these emotions that were controlling her, and it was such a good film. Now in this one you have a boy who inside of his phone he has different emojis who are their own beings. Well, you have the Meth family played by Stephen Wright and Jennifer Coolidge. They have a son named Gene. Now, Gene is a special flower. He cannot just be one emotion. He has all different types, and he doesn't know who he is. But this family, in all their wisdom, says, "Son, you're going to come to work, and you're going to be the best meh emoji you can be." And, of course, everything goes haywire, and now Gene is on the run. This film is a load of shit. When you have a cast of T.J. Miller, James Gordon, Maya Rudolph, Jennifer Coolidge, Steve Wright, and Sofia Vergara, Christina Aguilera, Patrick Stewart, you hear all these names and you think to yourself, oh man, this is going to be pretty much a lot of fun. And it is wasted. The only time I actually kind of chuckled was whenever Patrick Stewart, who's playing the shit emoji, is just doing his thing. And you could definitely tell he's having fun with this part in the little bit of time he has in the film. But every single time Patrick Stewart as the poop is on screen, I had a smile on my face just because it's Patrick fucking Stewart. And so I'm watching this film, and of course I got the kid who's saying that this is boring, and I was like, what's the point of this film? Because it tries so hard to be a knockoff Inside Out that I literally just wanted to go home and just watch Inside Out just to watch the filth of the Emoji movie. Now, when you have the concept of the Emoji film, it could actually be fun. I mean, you got this metropolis of different emojis, and you kind of knew what the vibe of the film was going to be at the beginning of the film, where you got Gene who's going out into the metropolis and you see him interacting with all these different emojis. And when you see him reacting, it seems like, just from his perspective or just from his character, that every single emoji has their own personality and can be varied. But the moment that they see him and they're like, what the fuck? You're supposed to be a meh emoji. I mean, fuck you, you're an outcast. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be an outcast story about him teaching all the other emojis about how to love yourself and be different. Don't be what the corporate ladder wants you to be. And the film never goes that way. It goes to such boring and predictable scene after scene after scene that it even has a moment in there where you go onto the YouTube app, and of course it shows all the cat videos, it shows banana apple pen, and everything in this film in a couple of months is going to be outdated. And that's pretty bad. It's even outdated now. Like the moment it came out, it was outdated. There was nothing in this film that I could tell somebody go out and see. Now, am I absolutely furious with this film? Was it one of the worst films I ever watched? No, I definitely watched a lot worse. But at this point, I was just like, kids, parents, stay away from the Emoji Movie. And now to talk about the film that I actually wanted to see this week in Atomic Blonde. Now, Charlize Theron, she is playing an MI6 agent who is tasked to go to Berlin on the eve of the Berlin Wall coming down. Now, her mission is to go and get these documents that state of every single agent and what they have done in Berlin. Because if that information gets out, it can have devastation effects on the Berlin Wall coming down. And I absolutely loved the look of this film. Now, I have seen plenty of films depicting Berlin in the Cold War. But in this film, it has such a punk style to it, where every single time you have Charlize Theron going out into the streets of Berlin, you have the graffiti, you always have these teenagers always around, and it just gives a little different spice to the world of Atomic Blonde. And it was very much a breath of fresh air. And I definitely did love the cinematography of Berlin itself. Now, the director David Leitch, this is not his directorial debut. No, he is one half of the team behind John Wick. And when you hear that word John Wick, you just know a pristine action. And this film right here, Atomic Blonde, has that in spades. Now, David Leitch, you definitely tell he's kind of trying to widen his forte, where with an espionage film with like a James Bond aspect, there are times where it's just about the mission and there's not an action scene going on. It's all about the espionage. And sadly, that is where David Leitch fails, where it just, at times, it just becomes so boring and you're just like, I want that next action sequence. And luckily though, an action sequence is never far behind. And there is one specific action sequence where if you have watched the Daredevil series, there's always that one scene where it's in a corridor and it's just one take and it's just balls out wild. Now in Atomic Blonde, they had that scene but made so much better and made so much longer. Where at a time I was just like, oh my god, the scene is still going and it's still going. And it's just one shot, one take. And at the end of that scene, I just wanted to stand up and I just wanted to clap and be like, that was breathtaking. Breathtaking. Like, if David Lynch could bring that type of atmosphere to the Deadpool 2, which is he's helming, oh, Deadpool 2 is going to be so amazing. You have in this film James McAvoy, who is playing Charlize Theron's escort. And James McAvoy, for me, once I saw Split, he went on a different... his trajectory was going so high. And I was so excited to see what he does next. And I'm sad to say I was kind of disappointed in his performance in this film. Not disappointed, but just like... man, why couldn't this have been like another huge step in his career? Which I'm guessing it's because this film was never asking for that out of James. But it felt like he took his character from Filth and put it into here, where there's a lot of style, there's a lot of darkness to him, but it's all done in a very fun way. And that's one thing about this film. This film is just plain out fun. And I loved that we had Sofia Boutella coming into this film. Every single time I see her, I am more impressed with her every single time. Where I think she's going to be... she's definitely a character actor. I can't really see her helming her own film. But in these parts she plays them so damn well. That even though there are those slow parts in this film, there's so much good that it beats out anything that was just boring about this film. And I just... when you come out of a film... you come out of the film with such a high sometimes that I really need the time to like kind of like process and try to say, okay, is this film really as good as what I thought? And I come home thinking about the film. I go to bed and I'm still thinking about just that one action sequence in the hallway that was so beyond anything in this film that at this very moment is my favorite sequence in a film this year. And I do believe that Atomic Blonde is definitely a good movie to go see in a matinee. If you want to take your girlfriend, she'll be having a badass time too. So, have you seen Atomic Blonde or the Emoji Movie? If you have seen the Emoji Movie, I'm so sorry for you. What do you guys think about it? Let me know down below. Comment. Tell me what you've seen. I can't wait to get this conversation started. And hopefully soon I'll begin a schedule where you'll be seeing or hearing my voice a lot more often. My name's David Lee, and this is Movie Roundup. And I'll see you guys next week.